Hello again, and I just want to talk about Bel Air real quick. Like, I've been thinking about it, and actually, I'm playing a game, Arkham Knight, at the moment. I won't be doing the gameplay because it's not popular at the moment, and I don't really want to waste my time because it's just something I want to do for fun, and I don't think I want to do any content about that. But I just really wanted to talk about and yes, that was my WhatsApp, by the way. I just really wanted to talk about Bel Air real quick because it's been racing through my mind, and I just really wanted to talk about it because we're 6 episodes in, and I really like it. I don't know, like I'm okay. I don't really like it. I'm more of in the middle with it. Like I'm okay with the series. Um, I think the main protagonist, Will Smith. I don't know who he's played by. I'm sorry, I didn't do any research, but the actor who plays him is very well done. I think he does a great job. A lot of people will hate Carlton, but I'm more of the you know me. I'm more of that person who really wants to get in the head of an antagonist. I don't really like to hate just because I need to hate. I've learned from the past that hating people just because they're an asshole is not a full reason. But again, I have done that in the past, so I don't exclude myself from the conversation where you can hate a person just because they're a douche or a douchebag or an asshole. So I do lump myself in that pool, don't worry, but I do still want to find out why they're such an asshole. But again, there are cases where they're an asshole just because they're an asshole, and I don't know. Um, I like the first 3 episodes. There are some writing elements where I think they really need to improve on. Overall, throughout the 6 episodes, I think that it's an interesting concept. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a dark reimagining of the Fresh Prince of Bel Air, as you may know, and it dives more into the quote unquote black world, which is basically like the upscale black and the downscale blacks. The class, this classic classism scale. We've seen this on the mirror side as well. The really rich white people and the lower rich white people. It's more on that vein of cliche, I would say, because it's a trope done in Hollywood before, not really with a person of color. I think this is new, this is fresh, and this is fresh, and this is an avenue well spoken and well needed to be tapped in, especially because of BLM, Black Lives Matter, and me being Southeast Asian, without no disrespect, no political angle coming into this. I think that it's pretty well done in some parts. Of course, you're gonna have the whole leftist versus rightist view in terms of the show, and a lot of buzzwords, politically charged buzzwords that a lot of modern Americans are debating about now, which is defund the police and all of that. And as an outsider looking in and understanding what is the grievances on both side, I think that it needs to be addressed. It needs to be brought up again, and I think that the whole defund the police is a very new movement and a very fresh thing, and the whole Black Lives movement is still pretty fresh, and is still pretty new. But I think that has died down a lot. But the whole George Floyd incident and the whole I can't breathe and everything all else launched it back up. So um, uh, and Black Lives Matter existed before. I mean, like it's a fairly new movement. I mean, in terms of the whole branding, but it's been there. I mean, a lot of people would equate it to the civil rights movement, etc. And more on the show, I think that they really do play the political side a lot more in the show, and I do find that they do have to do that. But where I stand in my perspective as a film critic, as a show, uh, you know, aficionado, which is I love to watch shows, and I love to understand shows and its tropes and its biasness and its whole entire angle. I think that this show is predictable. Is very predictable in that it does a lot of the drama check boxes. Like, okay, you have Will, who is the main character, Will Smith, and they flip Carlton into the main antagonist of the show, whereas in the previous Prince of Bel Air, it's more of Carlton being the same kind of asshole, but him trying to find common ground with Will on his, you know, street braggadocious, and his all round like hood, street slang and all that. But in this case, it's more of the elitisms that come with money, right? It's a classic classism trope, as I said, but whereas I think that you can see the real difference in the modern size of money, whereas in the previous show it was just like a normal two-story, three-story house that the Smith family lives in. The new show is a fucking mansion. It's a real estate, right? So I'm more confused what Jeffrey's role is in the show, because in the old show he was a real butler. He served the meals, he cooked. But in the new show, it's more of him being the political manager of Uncle Phil, and not really manager, but as Double Toasted said in the review, more of a fixer. I think that he doubles as a security force as well. I would say he's a bodyguard, but he's not really with Uncle Phil a lot. So maybe security detail would be more minute, because the most recent episode used that terminology. So I think that fits him pretty much. um but again, you don't really see him around a lot, and they're more friends than they are working together. But Jeffrey is still professional, and he doesn't overstep his boundary. I really love the improvement of Hillary, because I didn't really like that they made Hillary the Valley Girl bimbo in the original Fresh Prince of Bel Air. I think that they did that because it was a very 90s trope, because the whole Valley Girl was a white girl stereotype, and then it's funnier because it's in a black girl now. But I don't think it's appropriate for this modern time, because I know that there are archetypes like that in American media, but for this type of show, it won't work. And I think that they chose a good route for Hillary. Now, what I'm going to predict for Hillary is that with the new I thought it was going one of two ways, by the way, with Hillary. One was that she couldn't find any content going in um for her whole social media thing, and then moving forward she did the whole lingerie thing, which I think is gonna be segueing into the whole OnlyFans and body positivity image debate and all of that, and how sexy can you be, and it's going to be affecting Uncle Phil's campaign. And I think one of the main reasons that they made Will's prequel storyline a mainstay for the first episode is because that it's going to be a focal point in which it's going to affect Uncle Phil's campaign in a big way. Someone's going to be finding out that Uncle Phil did this, and it disrupts the trust that people have in Uncle Phil and the law, and it's gonna be a real contention point, and probably will have to prove himself and how he's going to stay at Bel Air. And another thing I'm going to predict is for Carlton, which is the parents are going to be finding out that he's doing drugs, and for his anxiety and all that mental health issues are going to be coming in. And Ashley is more of the sexuality navigator of the show, I would say, because yes, the first three episodes she doesn't really have anything to do in the show, but the fourth, fifth, and the sixth episodes that Ashley is in, she starts to be more active. I wish she was more active earlier on, actually, because Will and Ashley hit it off more, and he had a positive influence in terms of helping her be less stressed about her life, because she is a kid after all. She's only 12, and it seems that in this version she has more freedom, but what she does with that freedom is exploring herself now. And it seems that it's very much the youngest kid trope, because the parents don't really care about Ashley, and you can really tell that they don't really think about Ashley that often. And but when she's there, she'll they will interact with her, they will do what's necessary. But again, she's more off the sideline, and now she is getting closer to the older sibling, which is Hillary. I mean, getting closer in terms of, because she's the next best thing for a female perspective. What I'm saying, like, because she wants to get to know, like, if it's okay to feel these feelings. And she's already asked a stranger about the whole um sexual counselor incident in the frat house, or the influencer house. And yeah, it moved into this whole section of her trying to really really think about who she is as a person, and what she is as a person, or who she likes as a person. And by the way, I am a very open-minded person. I don't really care about the whole LGBTQIA person. My thing is, you can love who you love, just don't force it on me, because I don't live your life. You can be proud of it, fine. My thing is, I'm very against PDA, whether it's heterosexual or LGBTQ. Don't fucking do that in front of me. I don't want to see that. I don't care for it. And then another thing is, I'm more perception. I mean, I'm a human after all, right? I'm gonna be making mistakes. So on the T side of things, if you're a girl, if you're a guy who became a girl and still going to the guy's bathroom, we're gonna have a whole deal about it. And I don't want to, but it's just a whole shock factor. You know what I'm saying? But again, sidetracking tangent, back to the show. I think the show works really well when it doesn't call back too often to the old show. When it's doing its own thing, it's fine. But when it's calling back to the old show, I mean, there's definitely gonna be Easter eggs. But when it goes back too often, I mean, the whole Lisa thing, I think could have been done better. But I know they wanna raise the stakes, they wanna hire the tension, whatever. Um, I don't know. For me, I wish that they did try to do their own thing, but again it's based on the old show, and it's based on Will Smith's life. So it's gonna be boring, a lot of things from the old show. But I think my biggest gripe about the show is that the writing, man, the writing. Sometimes the writing is so stupid and so idiotic. I'm like, Man, you could have taken some time to just chill and smoke some weed and rehash it out, man. Like, damn, the writing is pretty jumbled at this point. But I don't really mind it because the actors are trying their damnedest to make it work, and I think that it's an interesting flip. I mean, I really did like the first few seasons of Riverdale. I mean, the whole Jughead thing. I stopped. I think I stopped at season 3, season 4. I mean, I did some reactions on the channel. I remember. Um, and the biggest problem I had with Riverdale is that it became too dramatic at a point. I have a very strong feeling I'm gonna be feeling it very soon because in this most recent episode, I was like, ah man, they're just being very dull, very dull, very dull, and very slow and very. Oh, what's gonna happen next? You know what I'm saying? Like the whole jealousy thing is being played up now with the whole Broderick and Vi, and then I think they're going to be alluding to the changing of the aunts by a divorce. Maybe I don't know. I'm maybe thinking about that because they look like the relationship is on the rocks, and probably Uncle Phil has to reveal that he bought the art piece sometime in the future. I don't know. Um, but I am excited to see what they do with Hillary's plot point now because I thought they were gonna do the whole she fails at being an influencer in her own right. What can she go from there? Because I thought she was gonna do more of her own thing, but now she's pushed herself into that sexy chef niche, which I was like, that's a bad move, but at the same time, I mean, when you're stuck in a rock and a hard place and you're a fucking hot girl, why not? Again, it's the future of her. I okay, I don't say that to be salty, whatever, but when it's overplayed, it's overplayed. I mean, I can't help how I feel, right? Um, For me, we didn't see too much of the handling of Will's emotion in the most recent episode. He kind of just flipped. He just like, okay, fuck it, I'll help you guys. Like I didn't really like that because I thought they were gonna explore it more. I thought they were gonna be like, you know what, yeah, you're going to get hate no matter what, and I mean they did it like subliminally. I get it. You have other stuff to talk about, but I don't know. I just felt like Will Smith is supposed to be the main character of the show, and I feel like he's not really the main character of the show anymore because, for my perspective, the whole show worked really well because he was bringing an outside world view to their white suburban ideology of what they are, and here they know. I mean, it's more of the black power and black empowerment, which I'm all for, but I think there is something lost between the gaps of Will Smith and the family. How is he supposed to be playing more of a role in the family when he's becoming more of them instead of finding proper common ground? You know what I'm saying? That's what I thought they were gonna try to do, but it's more of the, well, you gonna find your own people. And I mean, it's a fair point. I won't disregard that point, but again, I'm just saying, like, I wish there were more stuff like the whole the alpha omega alpha episodes, but I know that episode wasn't perfect. Like, it was kind of cringy how Will got the uncle to dance, but I mean, it was a fun scene to do. But I mean, I thought it was how weird how everyone just flipped on and off again. I mean, they were whole very angry with Will, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Yeah, we should agree with him." I was just like, "How? Why? What?" Um. So yeah, I mean, basic thoughts on the table, and basic feelings really on how the show. I'm still fine with it. I think if I watch, I know there's gonna be four more episodes because they said it's gonna be about 10 episodes for the first season. So I'm gonna be watching the whole first season. I would think. I do think that this is not a bingeable series and I shouldn't be binging the series, but again, it's a weekly series and a dramatic series, which I'm kind of against at the same time because I tend to forget things very easily when it comes to dramas and but this is a familiar show, so I don't think I will be forgetting too many things. But I'm just scratching the surface here because I do just wanna throw my opinions out there and say that it isn't the worst show I've seen. I think that if they can avoid the over seriousness of what they're doing and have more of the light stuff balancing it out, like the second S's episode where they did try it and had more fun doing it. I think it could be a good show. I think it could be a great show when Beta Will Smith. I'm going to call it Beta Will Smith because he's not the proper Will Smith. The Beta Will Smith, does his jokes, does his charm, his swagger. I think it's really well done, and I think that I don't want the whole dramedy, but I prefer it at this point. But um, the whole relationship stuff, I'm bored to death of talking about it because I'm bored to death with myself thinking about my own romantic tragedies and whatnot. So seeing Carlton face that was kind of heartbreaking for me, but at the same time, I can't feel that bad for him because he is using at the same time, and I hope he will get the help he deserves. Um, but I can understand Carlton's perspective, even though he's broken up with the girl. You know what I'm saying? I mean, because they're never easy. Relationships are always messy. So there you go. I don't think they will be pushing more of Ashley's story anytime soon because I think that the whole Uncle Phil versus Fred is going to be the front focal point of the next few episodes. But I think they're gonna be doing it as more of a C story, or because the B story is probably gonna be Hillary's story. The A story, I hope, involves Will as well, but I don't know. Will is more of a side character now because it's all about Uncle Phil. They should just call it the Uncle Phil show because it's like Uncle Phil and Vi and the whole political party and all that. But I think we will see like they did the whole stop and frisk thing in episode 2 or episode 3 or something like that. That was kind of interesting, and they brought the whole like wearing the jacket inside out, and I thought that was really really great callback. I thought that was a really great scene, by the way, and I thought the design was much better than the original one. Is that would kind of make more sense for me for the whole new run. But again, I don't know why I'm so colorful on the inside. Because normally a jacket would be either velvet, straight lined. But again, it's a costume design. So rating. I mean, for the first 6 episodes, five, five a good average 5. I mean, I don't know. I think people did expect too much from it. I did see the whole fan made trailer, and I was like, this doesn't look too good. I mean, it's fine, but I mean, I don't think I need it. But trying it out, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that great. So I'm very on the fence about Bel Air, to be very honest. I kind of like it, and at the same time I don't like it, and at the same time it's a big bag of mixed feelings, kind of like the show. But so far, I think my favorite character is Will Smith and Jeffrey. I mean, Jeffrey is still a good character. He's I just don't understand his function in the family really, but it looks like he's gonna get his own relationship, and yeah, we'll see where it goes from there. I think that we'll be probably exploring the whole Carlton and the gun soon. I don't know if they will, but I don't know. Again, that might be a contention for exploration early on as well, because the whole drug thing was basically season 5, season 4 of Fresh Prince of Bel Air, but they brought it in the first season here. So could be a possibility that they're bringing the gun in as well for season 1. I don't know. Um, but the whole Will not telling the family about the drugs is pretty interesting at the same time. So we'll see how it goes from there. Again, as I said, I can predict things, but they probably could twist a few things here and there. But for the meantime, I still predict what I predict, and I don't want to say it because 90% of the time my predictions come true, and then you're gonna be like, spoilers! You watched it ahead of time, man. No, I'm just good at predicting shit, man. I've watched too many shows to be like, this is gonna happen or this is not gonna happen. I yeah. So take it for what you will, man. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.